This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview. Well, joining us today is Mike Frydman, the head of IR at Zenova. Well, hello, Mike. Thank you very much for joining us today. How are you?
I am well, and thank you for inviting me. Thanks.
Well, thank you for coming on. It's the first time that we are speaking to Zenova on Stockbox, and I know you are a fairly recent appointment to the company. So I wonder, just to start us off, we could have maybe 30 seconds or a minute or so just on your background and what attracted you to Zenova.
Well, my background is portfolio management. I've spent near on 3 decades in the hedge fund world, the latter 10 and the subsequent 10 outside of that world. I've been pretty involved in UK small caps. I have as well a long-standing interest in deep value situations with an extra sort of spice towards or orientation towards event-driven or companies that are actively pursuing a re-rating. I like what I see. Obviously, that can be fundamentals or it can be other reasons. So that was my background. I've been a shareholder in Zenova in the past. I hope to buy some soon when I'm unrestricted. I love the story. I loved the reason it brought me to the founders of the company and current management is because I love old economy stories with a twist. So I believe when the market discovers Zenova, and I am very focused on the share price, I want everyone to know that from the outset. When the market discovers Zenova and the progress that we're making, they'll appreciate that this is a company whose business they can understand, who's bringing a unique solution to an existing economic trend and opportunity that doesn't require that they invest in AI or something high tech or cutting edge in that respect. So this is sort of old economy with a new twist. It's manufacturing. I like that. I like the margins in the business and so on. So that it attracted me as an investment, as a share price, as an opportunity. I also have a long discourse we can do another time about the issues and problems in UK small caps, which I think are and will continue to mend themselves in a very favorable way for names like Zenova as more liquidity returns to the market because it can't get any worse. And so that is, as I say from the outset, I want to make clear that is part of my focus, very much part of my focus. What do UK small shareholders, what do they want? What are they looking for?
Okay. We can definitely do a longer format podcast. That would be a very interesting topic to discuss with you there, considering your background. So you say you're attracted to old economy with a twist, and Zenova very much fits that bill. I wonder if you can tell me why. I know they've got a few different products here, mostly in sort of fire protection and thermal insulation, but I wonder if you can take us through the different elements of the business and why they excite you as well.
Well, look, the extinguishers, the fire extinguishers, the FX 500, the smaller of the two, the 500 milliliter, as well as the larger, the FX. They provide increasingly, and one has to be careful at this stage. I'm learning details. I do have an engineering degree, but I'm respectful of what I don't know so far. But clearly, we are moving on many vectors, including certifications. So as those certifications become reportable and we can discuss them in greater detail, you'll see the appeal of I think the market already understands, but you'll see more of the appeal of the extinguishers which absolutely fit my earlier description, right? Old economy, new twist. So here we have, for instance, the aerosol formula in the extinguishers being able to potentially combat lithium fires, right? Which is a very new economy issue. Interestingly, I've been involved in an alternative battery storage company in the past that is non-lithium related, and I know from personal experience how important that issue is. Even though some may dismiss it as a niche problem, it isn't. And as a result, inert solutions like vanadium are gaining ground on lithium battery storage because specifically of the fire potential, the fire issue. So the extinguishers, clearly, I've learned about those more recently. What attracted me, honestly, were the coatings. Most commonly, I think other people, a lot of other people noticed the company because of the coatings, and today's announcement, very much in line with that. Post Grenfell, I live in the shadow of Grenfell, and when I learned about the FP paint, the fire protection paint, and what it could do, and I've been in touch with the company periodically over those years since. It really does seem that the properties of that particular product are especially germane to coating the walls of particularly fire or buildings at risk of fire. You've seen the recent steel coating announcement. That too, I've been out to site in East London. A major construction site where we are trialing our coatings there, and you saw the announcement. And of course, one immediately thinks of 9/11. So, this is a small company with big potential and big ambitions, and that's why the other coating products as well. The recent Greek announcement. Obviously, that was a direct FP application, but it also had a coating of our insulation paint. So, you have a combination of products. You have a tremendous market opportunity, which continues to expand in ways that we anticipate and sometimes don't anticipate. So we're pretty excited.
So in terms of products you've got, the Zenova have the fire extinguisher and the coatings, or the paints you might want to call them. You've got the fire protection paint, which is fire retardant paint that can be painted on and make walls or items fire retardant effectively. And then the insulation paint, which adds, insulation properties to the walls that you're applying it to. We can go into more detail on the products, or maybe a different section of an interview on Stopbox. We can go into a feature on the different products, for example. I do want to catch up on some of the news, though. As you mentioned there, the news today that Dulux have been appointed distributor for Zenova in the UK, stocking all the paints that we've just spoken about. Of course, Dulux is a well-known household name. How long have you been working on this agreement, and what does it mean for the company? I noticed that it was quoted there by the CEO, Thomas, saying it's both a milestone for the company and an endorsement of the product. So, it's pretty significant to get a company like Dulux on board with you.
It is significant. And I think credit where due. This is, and just folding it back into the company's recent strategic change of direction, where Thomas Melchior was appointed CEO. Freeing up Tony Crawley to focus on being, if you like, a master salesman completely. That breakthrough with Dulux is a result of that. So I couldn't tell you. I don't really know how long that's been in the works, but I'm sure it's been, it's had a reasonable tail. And we have to be careful what we say. These companies are very sensitive to what you release. But Thomas was clear, and the market should be clear in understanding that this is an endorsement. That's my takeaway. I was very excited that we got that into the RNS because endorsement is what it's all about in the industry and without the industry. In other words, Dulux is saying, look, I have to be careful here, but Dulux is saying effectively that, Zenova's niche products provide our product range with something we don't have. All right. Now, whether that is going to end up being, worldwide orders and we're a $1 billion company or not, that's for us to execute on and for me to reflect on in later conversations with you and in later RNSs. But we are now in their channel. We are now, being stalked by them. And we clearly provide something that they don't have necessarily. I mentioned various testing that we're going through and EN3 testing. These Dulux at the moment accepts a level of our performance and its ability to deliver on what it says on the tin, as it were. And that is transformational for us potentially. But it is a breakthrough. It is a milestone. I'd like to believe it's transformational. Let's see going forward.
And is the deal to stock all the paints, both the fireproof paint and the insulation paint? Yes,
okay. That is the intention. Yes,
both paints, and these will be stocked in Dulux stores across the United Kingdom. Yeah,
that's correct. That is our expectation at this point.
So this is going to consumers, presumably, because consumers go into these kind of stores. I mean, trade will go in as well, but you're not talking B2B. You're talking really B to small companies and B to consumer. Is it Dulux's responsibility to market the benefits of the different paints? So do you know anything about that?
That I don't. That is in development at the moment.
Okay.
We're focused on a particular line of business at the moment through Dulux, and that is TBD.
Okay. Well, it has just been announced today, so it is fresh news. I'm sure we'll get more developments of that as that partnership develops. But let's talk about something that happened in Greece. Of course, this is sales of your IP paint for a large international coffee producer who needed a solution when they were going to retrofit solar panels to their building. It's a small order, it's under £40,000 there. But can you tell us a bit about how this story developed? Because it's another avenue, really, isn't it, that you've kind of discovered here for Zenova?
Yeah, that's again the result of Tony Crawley and his contacts. And what I love about the Greek order is that it is kind of the tip of the iceberg. Again, because of the nature of the business, we have every hope that it can produce similar clients elsewhere. But also it represents, if you like, our budding strategy, which is to broaden and deepen. So we want to broaden ourselves on the geographic vector and the product use vector, and we want to deepen our customer base, right? So what Greece represents, as you say, just with a small order, that's not what's relevant. What's relevant was the motivation for them to sign in the first place. They are retrofitting a major warehouse facility in their that they own in Greece. Immediately, that opens Greece up as a geography, which I didn't mention. That also broadens us, right? It gives us a presence in Southern Europe to obviously approach other companies with similar issues. But the important thing is they're retrofitting their roof with solar panels. Solar panels have, again, fire issues. Fire issues affect everything from stated use for the facility to insurance. So they ordered our paint, which again we have made many claims, but here's a customer who's clearly buying it for that purpose. Mm-hmm. All right, in a crucial situation for them. Where they will add our paints plus a coating, both the FP and the IP, to the roof, in order to be able to represent that there is fire mitigation, or the fire risks of the solar panels are mitigated, and one must assume, therefore, they can build and insure at a cheaper entry point, or they can save money and they can tick various ESG boxes that are required, and likely why they are retrofitting with solar panels in the first place. These parts of the world, in Southern Europe in particular, get very, very hot. Furthermore, I should say, they get hot. Not only is there therefore fire risk, but there's insulation needs to keep the interior of the building cooler. So you couldn't, and so that's why we have the insulation paint coating as well. You could not ask for an investor, for a better guide to the potential of this company than that order, in my opinion. Because again, you get a broadening of geographies, a broadening of use of the products, and an endorsement of the use of those products, right? So Indeed. That's why I was excited about that announcement, and I remain so.
And both paints were used here, the insulation paint initially, and then the fire paint on top of that for the retardant purposes, as you discussed. I mean, you'll have a lot, if you continue to do these sort of other orders, you will have a lot of case studies that you can certainly take to enhance the future sales of the company, which I do want to come on to in a moment. But let's just finish on some other recent news, which is in the United States. You had a significant win with the distribution agreement agreed with Omnis and Petra. So as I understand, these are big distributors, but could you put some more context around who they are and what they're going to do?
Look, I'm learning about that one. It is a major announcement. One of the ways to put it in context that I'm doing so far is there is a parallel with this relationship to our previously announced FX 500 order, the 7,500 units to 40,000 units in Germany, which I believe the market's aware is going into Hansa coatings.
And that's the fire extinguisher, isn't it? Now we're talking about, yeah.
Right. So that relationship, that infrastructure or distribution infrastructure has a parallel now in our Omnis Petra relationship. I am learning more. I'm going to go out. Obviously, I'm American. I'm going to be meeting with the relevant people and learning how, again, our products will be distributed through this new channel. But
okay, it's an in to the United States.
Yes, I mean, we're in the United States. It's a big deal. I want to get this. I want to get the description to the market correct. So I will. I'll defer a little bit on that, but it's exciting.
Well, things are certainly getting moving with Zenova, so I'm looking forward to talking to you a lot more. I wonder if we can just finish off. I don't know how much you can talk about the strategy of the company and whether you're going to go down more of a consumer-focused route or a business-to-business. Also, things about your sales team. You talked about the particular salesperson who's very good, who's got a couple of the big deals recently. But if you're going to really push on, I assume you're going to need a fairly big team. So can you talk a little bit about the strategy and how you plan to execute and grow the sales, which ultimately grows the company and the share price?
Look, that is in development. The market's going to see significant upgrades to the website where we will discuss in greater detail that very strategy. Like I said, I'm very focused on the share price, and I know that that's what shareholders want to see. Right now, we are leveraging our existing sales force to go for larger B2B orders. And as we develop the distribution channels, obviously, the mix of B2C and B2B will be maximized or more efficiently evaluated. So, right now we know where we need to get to get to break even. We think we can achieve that on what we've done, what is coming, and on the current sales force. And as we get towards that magical break even point, we will inflect, of course, and start to deepen our sales effort in particular geographies, in particular with particular clients and distribution channels. So all of that is to come, and the market has my commitment to I will be a part of it, and in my effort to sort of make as much of our communications shareholder friendly as humanly possible, because everybody's focused on cash, return, and that'll be mine as well.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Mike Frydman, the head of IR at Zenova. There's lots more we can talk about, but it's good to get started with your first appearance here on Stopbox, get a bit of an understanding and some catch up on the recent news. I hope we can be talking a lot more and in more detail on different elements of the business in the not too distant future. But for now, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, watch the tape, people. Watch the tape. More to come. Okay. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.